Precious Inyi, and not forgetting that one of the most important aspects of the show is the fact that we have some very fantastic expert analysis, and of course, the most important part is that we get to have you have your say. Let's get started very quickly with the show. It's a full house today. So you guys have mandated me to be having a full house on Fridays. I don't know if we'll have an extension of Friday's shows to like 10 o'clock, eh? All right. So let's get started. On the hot topic this evening, Ohanese youths reject 5 additional states for Southeast. Scold reps from region. And reps not taking any position and propose 30 new states. Carlos said so. Shehu Sani says it's comical on the proposal for 31 new states. Proposed 31 states to resolve marginalization in Nigeria, according to APC chieftain. But let's move away from that to our new budgets, away from the 49 trillion to now 54.2 trillion, as Peter Obi questions Tinubu's government on transparency and accountability about the budget. Reps, however, back Tinubu's revised 54.2 trillion naira 2025 budget. And they say, we will prioritize Nigeria's interest in increasing this 2025 budget to 54.2 trillion naira. How? Well, you may want to know that. I'll let you in on that later on. 136 communities in 5 plateau local government councils overrun by armed men. This is according to the report. That is 136 villages in 5 local governments. Say now, armed men, that is now bandits, they control them in Plateau State. You just may be wondering. And then there is this exclusive by People's Gazette, how mutiny looms in Nigerian police as age-falsifying senior officers reject retirement amid clash between Egbetoku, DIG, and the DIG, Galadanchi, over 2-year extension request. Meanwhile, another report has it that Opera as IGP PSC clash over retirement of police officers. We discussed this last week, but we may have to look at it again. By the way, we hear that according to the Emir of Daura, he links insecurity to poor upbringing. That the reason why these bandits thrive is because of poor upbringing. Did I tell you that Kayode Fayemi has now apologized to Nigeria? Say sorry. For the hardship when Nigeria APC don't cause on for this country. We apologize. And your former president Muhammad Buhari says that Nigeria's economy, security, and everything was better, way better, in better shape under his watch than now. Lagos, the hot topics are just too much. But let's just get started very quickly with this 31 states thing, yeah. I told you earlier that the youth wing of Apex Igbo Sociocultural Organization, Ohanese Ndigbo Youth Council Worldwide, has rejected a proposed additional 5 states for the Southeast. It was reported that Nigeria's House of Reps, I told you guys yesterday now, they were planning new states, 31 states, 7 new states in the Southwest, 5 in the Southeast, I think 6 more in the South-South, 5 in the Northeast, and 6 in North Central, like that. They just splitted them like that, and you got 31 in all. So, Ohanese, you say, why? We were crying already that other geopolitical zones were balanced. They had some sort of unanimous number of states, and we had only 5. We were asking for one more state to make us balance. Then you kukuma ask for more states to be created, and you now ask for even Southeast to not be, to not even have even lesser states. Meanwhile, still about that, the House of Rep Deputy Speaker who presided over that, Benjamin Kanu, has said that the lawmaking chamber is not taking a side on the proposal received by the Committee on Constitutional Review to create additional 30 states. So whatever we're doing it for the betterment of the country. And Shehu Sani has slammed Rep's proposal. He said this is laughable. Of all the things when I want to talk about, now this one might be the thing when I won't do like this. So he faulted the proposed creation of 31 additional states beside the country's 36 states. Could that be a priority for us at the meantime? All right, joining me in the studio is the 3 wise men. I've got with me Mr. Ekene-Obi. Mr. Ekene-Obi, thank you so much for joining me, and good evening to you.
Good evening. Thank
you. And then I have Prince Francis Chilaka. Good evening, sir, and thank you for joining me.
Come.
Thank you. And Barrister Asim Adams. Asim, thank you so much for joining us. Good evening, sir. Thank you for making out your evening to join us. All right, so let's get started. Barrister Sima, I'd like to take you on this 36 states thingy very quickly. You know now, your demand that I would always come for as much as I can. So why should this be important right now? Is there any law stopping us from creating additional states? And is this equitably shared based on how the lawmakers have,
Yeah, thank you very much.
Splitted the states according to regions?
Well, for me, there is no law stopping creation of additional states under the Constitution of Nigeria. But for me, I don't know whether it is proper at this point in time. If so, the only region, in my own opinion, that needs an additional state is the Southeast.
Oh, wow.
For equity. Because if you go through section 14, some 3 of the 1999 Constitution, it talks about equitable distribution. Now, in anything the federal government or we are doing in Nigeria here, there must be equitable distribution, etc. The Southeast of all the other regions, like we have about, is it 6 geopolitical zones?
Yes, please, sir.
Have just 5 states, and I have been wondering why that came about, where you see Northwest 6 states, just etc. as the case may be. So it is only the Southeast, in my own opinion, that needs an additional state to balance the equation, as we normally use the word in Nigeria here, so that all the regions will now have 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. I know one region has 7 states, if you calculate.
Yes, I think that would be Northwest.
Northwest. It has 7 states. But the minimum, the reducible minimum is 6. So which means Southeast has 5. So they are entitled by virtue of equitable distribution to one additional state. So they need it, in my own opinion.
Okay. All right.
The kettle of fish.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if I'll go.
Go ahead,
okay.
sir.
The problem we are having now is this. Yes, even though the Constitution does not deny the National Assembly creating states, as the case may be, the problem I have is that Nigerians need to go through Section 8 to find out whether it is possible, even though the law allows it, whether it is possible for creation of a state as this particular, section of the Constitution has stated. If there is time, I can read them out.
Please, kindly educate us, and yes, that's why we're here.
I have a copy of the 1999 Constitution, and that is talking about section.
Mention section 8.
Section 8.
Yes, please.
Now, if you go to, sorry, a moment, please. If you go to section 8 of the 1999 Constitution, you find that sub 8.1 says, an act of the National Assembly for the purpose of creating a new state shall only be passed if a request supported by at least 2/3 majority of members representing the area demanding the creation of the new state.
The area.
The
areas.
Yeah, the area. If Southeast needs a state now, so 2/3 of members, representing.
By members, you mean citizens, sir?
No, it has House of
members in the House.
National Assembly,
great.
Yes.
Okay.
House of Reps.
Okay.
House of Reps and Senate. We have to have 2/3. That is the first hurdle they have to cross. Then you now go down. If that is met, you go down to section 8 sub 1b. It says a proposal for the creation of the state is therefore approved. That is, if you approve it.
Yes.
Then in a referendum by at least 2/3 majority of the people of the area, which means if Southeast need that state to be created,
70% of their population.
Population must agree. Then the result of the referendum is then approved by a simple majority of all the states. Are you getting my point now? That is, if you now assuming you get all these things right now, and you referendum, you get everything correct, 80%, etc., or even 100%. then that particular referendum you conducted in the Southeast or any zone at all is then approved by a simple majority of all the states
of entire Nigeria.
Of Nigeria, supported by a simple majority of members of the houses of assembly, which means all the houses of assembly in Nigeria
in the 36 states.
36 states must vote. You know what it means.
Is this not too rigorous?
It's rigorous. So you see,
do you see us meeting this?
It's difficult because it did not. For instance, if the North says, "Oh, we demand this state," and you are giving it to Southeast, the Southeast can filibuster. I mean, the North can filibuster, by not meeting or approving, getting that majority in their various houses of assembly, as the case may be. You understand?
Yes, please.
Now, you go back again, referendum here and there. It's very long. I think it's one of the longest, section that we have in our constitution. It's about 3 pages. Section 8 is about 3 pages from here. From what I'm reading here, it's about 3. That is 1, 2. Then the 3rd page. You understand? Going on to, section 9. So it's a very laborious process. So now what I'm trying to say is that if you want to now create that state, it means that you have to carry the whole country along. And if this Northwest, we say no, we are not going to approve the state for the Southeast, even though they need one. And the Southwest say we're not going, our assemblies, the governors have control over the assemblies in whatever. So if the governors are against it, then you cannot get that simple majority in those states. And for you to get that 2/3 majority of 36, I'm not a mathematician, but I know that 2/3 of 36 should be about, I don't know whether it's 18 or thereabout. Those who are mathematicians should help us. What is 2/3 of 36?
Mr. Kenobi will help us.
So that will give you, the cherry in the apple. That is where my problem is. So you see, that is why you see it's been very difficult for any civilian government to create a state, except by military fiat. And the military people just go in there this night, tomorrow morning they created the state without going through these processes. So it's like the head of the camel having to pass through the eye of the needle for you to create a state in Nigeria. So that is where my problem is. Are you sure we can meet up all these things? I doubt.
Okay, so I take you on before I come to Mr. Prince Francis Chilakana. Some Igbo youths are complaining that why was an Igbo House of Rep member used to preside this plenary session that undermines the agitation of the Igbos in terms of state creation?
Okay, so the first thing you're going to ask is...
because Benjamin Kano presided over the plenary that day.
Is, the youths that are bothered, are their representatives bothered? That's the first thing.
Oh,
when I mean bothered about the 5 states additional.
Yes.
Okay? Because if it means anything to them, I believe that they would have been speaking loud about that. Okay?
And of course it would have been captured in the plenary.
Good. But they have never made any kind of threat about it. So what you should be asking is, they are the ones representing us. I'm from the Southeast, right?
Yes, please.
They are the ones representing us. But again, the idea of creating these whole states and then 5 came out from the Southeast, who is pushing it? Whose interest? What's the idea?
And there's seven whole more states for the Southwest. And people are saying, how come?
No, but totally, yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh wow!
To want to do this, because what's the idea? What's the purpose?
Okay, all right. So let me go to you, Prince Francis Chilaka. Why this now?
Purpose?
I was going to ask that. So why this? Is this one of the most important things that our National Assembly should be embarking on at this time? Why this and why now?
You see, when you gather a lot of people who don't have vision, who don't have a mission statement, who don't even understand why they're being gathered, they will leave the issue they should address and be looking for what they shouldn't address. Yeah, a lot of people will come out and say, oh, creating states will create job employment, it will create infrastructure, blah, 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 and all of that. But there's a question we should ask ourselves. The 36 states we have already, which of them is surviving? Which of them?
Big question.
Which of the states in Nigeria is surviving?
Everybody
is
going cap in hand to
is
Abuja.
Paying the minimum wage? Which of the states can boast to say, I beat my chest as a governor of my state? My people are well taken care of.
Lagos State.
It is from you.
So are you both laughing at me?
It's from you.
we are not laughing.
Okay,
It's
it's
just a
okay.
But
corroboration.
you see,
You're
the
chuckling.
truth of the matter is that the National Assembly, and like you asked, why was Kalu used? Kalu wants to play to the gallery. Yes. He wants to be seen as somebody who is more patriotic than patriotism. But unfortunately, even with this new structure of states they want to create, you can see the injustice being meted out to the southeast.
Because by the calculation, the southeast will still have the less number of
Exactly.
states.
It is all about
They
injustice.
already had less, and then you want to create a new one,
You see-
And they still have
give them
less.
less. Come on.
I keep saying that without justice, fairness, and equity, you cannot have peace.
But you know that this whole thing started. I'm sorry to say, but we need to rush to another topic very quickly. This whole thing started when some House of Rep members in the southeast, started agitating for an additional.
Yes.
And then we started seeing other people also agitating for additional states in other regions.
It simply shows you. Sorry, it simply shows you the fact that the southeast, the Igbos in particular, are marginalized. Nobody in the structure of today called Nigeria wants to have equitable distribution of wealth with the Igbos. And that is the way it is.
All right, you wanted to say something? You share that thoughts too? Or
Well,
you
yeah,
have
of course.
something
I mean,
different to say?
he's making a very valid point.
Okay. All right, so let's just move very quickly to the other conversations. We have quite a lot on that.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, sir. Go ahead,
I
Barrister.
just wanted to say that let me have a point of divergence with my very good brother Chilaka,
Okay.
and a lot of people have made that allusions too. That many states in Nigeria here cannot take care of themselves. I believe that is a fallacious, conclusion.
Okay.
The reason I'm saying this is this. As poor as Gombe State is, for instance, we look at it, is richer than Niger Republic in terms of budget. What am I saying? Every Nigerian state can take care of itself, but corruption, how be it that a state that gets about 30 billion or even 10 billion in a month cannot pay workers' salary, if not for corruption. You see the governors buying Gulfstream jets, private jets. You see they're building houses. You see they're buying Maybach of about 400 million naira, as the case may be. Some of them don't want to think out of the cap. Zamfara State, for instance, is regarded as a very poor state, but Zamfara, in terms of mineral resources, is richer than Sierra Leone. Is richer than Liberia as a country. Why? You have gold, you have everything there. But what is happening there? Why are they not mining those things?
Are they not mining them?
They are mining, but the government is not going to the government coffers. And you now see monumental corruption. A lot of them will tell you they can't pay salary, but you see a governor will be driving on his convoy. If you calculate the number of vehicles in the convoy, can pay about a year's salary. So you not term that state as a poor. And most of the governors don't want to think out of the cap. That is why they go cap in hand to begin to beg and go to Abuja on a monthly basis. It's laziness that has caused it. So that is just my own little point of divergence.
All right, so let's just move straight. We have dwelt.
I'm
We need to move to the other
whole
conversation.
idea for this show is for us to
Yes,
say things the way they are. It's good. It's good with what Barrister has said, that if not for corruption,
yes,
the states would be surviving. But we're living in a country where corruption has become a way of life. And those who are meant to fight corruption are more corrupt than corruption itself.
Hey.
So how do you expect the states to survive? How do you expect it? This is a country where, if you recall, a few months ago, we were told by the EFCC that they seized 700 and something houses in Abuja. Owned by who? Up to today, nobody has told us who the owners of these houses are.
But they mentioned something about Emefiele now.
They mentioned, was it the EFCC that mentioned? So you see, the point is this. For me, anybody talking about creation of state right now, other than creating one state to support the Southeast, is all about political settlement and nothing else.
All right. So let's quickly move to the budget. Erstwhile presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has said that there is no corresponding breakdown of expenditures to justify the increase in the 2025 budget. You'd recall that the president had forwarded to the House to increase the 2025 budget that is yet to be passed, by the way, from 49.7 trillion naira to 54.2 trillion naira, adding, I think, additional 4 point something trillion naira to it. And the reps guys have said that, you know what, don't worry, we would ensure that would have Nigeria's interest at heart, even though that they said they would ensure that they back President Tinubu's support. Why this is a bit worrisome and it's important to bring it to the fore is, as of last year, 2024, at some point, we were almost running 4 budgets. We were running the 2023 budgets and the 2023 supplementary budget, the 2024 budget, the 2024 supplementary budget, even though they said it was only the capital components of those budgets, some components of those budgets that were going to be used. But at the end of the day, we were administering those budgets as it were. How come a budget that is not even yet passed, and we're already adding, money to it? Is it that the Minister of Budget and National Planning did not do his homework to perhaps look at the situation of things properly before presenting the budget? Or what could it be? And what's going on?
There's a whole lot going on. There's just a whole lot going on. And, when something has become a thing, Nigeria has really, really gotten to that level where you say it's a Nigerian thing, all right? And it has held sway for a very long time. Now, how do we go through our budgeting implementation over the years, and even the ministries and agencies of government that brings up what makes up the budget, all right, that National Assembly looks at? When you call them to come and defend their own budget, what do? We've been having all sort of shenanigans going on.
Sometimes National Assembly complains that most of them don't show up.
They don't show up, or even they send some, like the head of a department or a ministry, all right, that is supposed to come and clearly defend the budget, can send a few subordinates to go and meet them. So it becomes like something like a deal. They just do up a deal and just say whatever you want to say. Anything that you can say there, just say it, and then let's have our way. It's not clear. The opaqueness of the whole thing is mind-boggling. And then they continued. The reason that we are all having a bit of a problem with this additional of 4.4, fine. Some kind of money came in that you want to put it in without clearly telling us what those monies are going to address.
Yeah, the monies from the customs and the rest of them, yes, sir?
What will he address in the budget? Why didn't they keep that to make it supplementary in case they need another? Because
they likely need another, right?
Yes, because they have the need for that money, past the one that is already on ground.
Okay.
Which was not clearly addressed, because the people that are supposed to talk about what the budgets were meant for could not even explain.
Okay, so speaking about explanation, Barrister Sim, I come to you. Nigerians are a bit worried. Budgets padding, budget inflation, budget whatever it is, budget drama looks like it's become a thing in Nigeria over the years.
Absolutely.
And it looks like it's a correct racketeering in National Assembly, like budget years or period is like time that, they get ready. But there are some things that also worries Nigerians, especially in respect to the executive. For instance, our president did buy a new jet. We know he's using now. I don't know if there is anywhere it's been specified that this is where the money came from that we're using. And if it hasn't been specified till now, is it proper that our money is used to buy another jet for our president to add to the fleet of jets, and we're not till today told where that money came from and how much exactly the jet is from the presidency and how it's expended. That's on one hand. We also bought what's in on motor one buy? No, not Lamborghini. Escalade.
Escalade,
We're still yet to get a definite. So is it that the executive does not owe us Nigerians an explanation on how they spend our money on our president, or are they breaking the law by doing that? It's important that Nigerians understand, because one would have expected that these things would have been captured in a 2025 budget.
Absolutely.
But I don't think there's any clear explanation to these things in a 2025
There is no even
budget.
explanation, let alone clear.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You see, the point is this. A lot of people do not understand that under our constitution, once the budget is passed and the president assent to that particular budget, it becomes a law. And when I mean it becomes a law, it becomes an act of the National Assembly, which has currency, which is subsisting. Therefore, if you go against it, the budgeted, projected figures, and that is approved and assented to by the president, you, the president, if you infract on that, it's an impeachable offense. That is number one. Number two is that
Impeachable in Nigeria.
that is what I'm saying. That is what it constitutes.
Okay,
It's a gross misconduct or whatever. The second one is that under our constitution also, are you aware that every parastatal of government ought to be audited? The money they gave to you, how did you use it? Plus and minus. What did you use it for? ETC, audited account, submitted now to the National Assembly for their oversight function. But these things are not present in the Nigeria budget ecosystem. The third one is this. What is budget? How many of us know the figure of the last year budget? How many Nigerians know how the last budget was funded
expended, exactly,
and expended? How many of us know? We don't know that. So it is become a mafioso kind of thing. An iron curtain, kind of a Kremlin, a kind of a budgeting that we have in Nigeria today. What I have said in 4 hours before I got here is that budget is for them and not for Nigerians. They have not taken into cognizance section 15 inside chapter 2 of the 1999 constitution talking about economic policies, which includes budgeting. No governor, no president. I am saying it with due sense of responsibility, and I want anybody to challenge me. They have never imbibed the embedded provisions of budget and budgeting that will enable Nigerians to leverage out of poverty. None of them has done that till today, because they abandoned that section 15. And
what does the section state, sir?
It's so there. It's voluminous. But what I want to say is that your economic policy, CTC, inclusive budgeting, has to be something like you have to be accountable. You don't pick a naira out of that particular trillions you budgeted without the approval and without us. You are governing, knowing exactly what you are doing with the money you took out of it. But it's non-existent. Now the question I've asked, for the budgeting that they have done since, why is our hospitals in comatose situation? Every year they budget billions for the health sector. Every year they budget billions for the educational sector. And this year again, I've checked through the budget proposal in percentage, and I found out that education, agriculture, health has been neglected. They even get some of the lowest. With due respect, I want to say that the budget of the people in power, as what it is as case may be, is far larger than that of education. Where domestic budgeting for those in power is far larger. When you look at the budget again, you find that the legislature, also take a great chunk of the percentage of whatever they are budgeting. That is why they are so happy to increase. If they budgeted 42 point something trillion, they are raising to 50 something trillion. And they are now coming to tell you that the reason why they are doing this because that the projected expenditure or expectations from inland revenue and custom TC, made them increase it to that particular level. It then means that it is a rudderless budget. You can wake up tomorrow and say, oh, those particular expectations are falling. It then means that we're having a budget deficit. How do we now equate and put this together? So for me, I have said it before that we don't even need the budget. The presidency can carry on governing Nigeria. It is better you don't even read the budget for us. After us on states, they have been running without budgets. The number of 36 states, if you call them to question to give their budget for last year, they don't even know where they kept it. So what is the essence? So these are the things we are looking at. So budgeting for me has become a scam, a fraudulent enterprise that is more or less like the Medellin cartel, where a group of people come out in the night and hold a meeting and decide on how to budget things for themselves for their extravagance, not for the importance and well-being of Nigerians. Section 15, go down. It says in categorical and unequivocal terms that whatever you are budgeting, the outcome must be that it tells us and meets the welfare and bring happiness to the Nigerian people. Happiness. The word happiness is expressly used there. It is not a Golgotha whatever. It was expressly used. The people who crafted this are people who are legible. They are wordsmiths. They put it there that welfare and happiness. It is in the constitution there. Happiness. So which means I have this question. Are we happy from the last budget?
I was going to ask Prince Francis.
We are not happy. The only people who are happy are those who buy Maybach, those who buy Escalades, and those who budget. They make it so pronounced, as the case may be. Many Nigerians are dying in poverty. In the whole every day in the social media, you see Nigerians with terminal diseases crying for help of 1 million naira. Crying for help for 1 million naira. And you ask yourself this question: do we have a government at any level in Nigeria today that its citizens will be afflicted with cancer? Its citizens will be crying. The other day I saw a lady, weeping. If we do not take our health insurance policies seriously in Nigeria here, then this is a nation that is forgotten. You neglect your health sector, public health sector, you neglect the educational sector. If the budgets were to be working, you and I do not need to pay through our noses to train our kids in school. So exactly what is this budget and budgeting? This is the question we have been asking. It's a fraudulent, enterprise. Akin to that of the Medellin, as I use again, open and close. So when I saw that they were debating, I said, leave these men. They are these are bourgeois. These are plutocrats who are now sitting down at the canopy called National Assembly and debating on how and what they are going to get from this particular point to December, and not for Nigerians. So don't read budget for me. I don't want to even see it. I don't want to listen to it because there's no budget in Nigeria. It's a fraudulent budget, and I don't know what else to say to this, that we are so disappointed. 44 million or a trillion to 59 trillion, as the case may be. My brother, I ask the question, why the increase? Now, if you do not meet those expectations, you now have a deficit. How have we? In fact, last year budget, there was a deficit. It was a deficit budget. How did they, put?
I was going to ask that, but
what happened?
But back to the question I asked: is it constitutional that our president got a jet and an Escalade, and till now there is no expression as to how those items were funded?
Let me tell you.
Constitutional?
Let me tell you. The revenue fiscal mobilization, whatever the case may be,
they just got
are the ones that regulate the salaries of the president. A Nigerian president does not earn up to 20 million naira in a year by that particular standard. A Nigerian governor cannot earn the same amount. But these are people who are in power. They buy Escalade. You know the value of an Escalade? I want to ask the question. Where in our constitution that is here, 391 pages, that is the Nigerian constitution, can they show me where the appurtenances of office has been allotted to the president for his comfort? I have never seen anyone. From page 1 to page 391 of the 1999 constitution.
So it is not anywhere that the president has to buy things to make himself comfortable.
It is not there. Let me tell you what these people are doing is a particular committee that is, doing this appurtenance and giving to them, increasing whatever they like it is, as the case may be. And it's an executive agency that is doing this. So if you look at it, the revenue mobilization, fiscal policy, whatever we have in today, does not and cannot sustain the Maybach that most of the governors drive. The Maybach or the Escalade, as you call it, the president is riding upon, is colossal waste and monumental waste. That is pure malfeasance. It is not recognized in the constitution. I challenge those listening to me today, from page 1 to page 391 of the pages in the Nigerian constitution, can you show me a particular section that says that once you become president of Nigeria or governor of a state, opulence, abundant opulence, heavenly opulence is your portion in Jesus' name? I want to find out. Can they tell us? So what they are doing is just share umbrage and haranguing.
So back to my question. I'm asking this question specifically. It is not there.
It is not there.
So that means what this administration has done by buying Escalade, if that money was bought from our coffers.
It was an agency they created to now begin to give them all those whatever they have.
And then is it fair that they've not made it public to us as per how much?
That is why they can wake up in the morning and tell you that the man wants to change his aircraft. Many governors have projects. Are you aware of that? The convoy of a governor, let me say the particular convoy of a governor, especially those they call the oil-rich states, are richer than some states in the sub-Sahara. The convoy, if you put the value together, Syria alone, how much is their budget? But a governor's convoy will cover it. There is no place in the constitution that says, in fact, the president is a civil servant under our constitution. So the base of office is not derived and orchestrated and choreographed by them. Not that the constitution said they should have those things. That is the situation we ask. Nothing stops the president to say you have to use your British Airways or whatever the case may be. It's not specified. He never said you must have a private jet or you must live in an Aso Rock that is made of 3 trillions, as the case may be. So it is not in the constitution. So these are man-made, extra-constitutional, whatever that they have around themselves, appurtenances, by contriving the revenue. I have asked this question about it. I say, you DG of revenue mobilization, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. I am asking you that question. Can you show me in this constitution they gave you the power to give the governors and civil servants their salary upgrade? Can you show me where it is stated that the monumental whatever they have today, you are giving the powers to increase it for them like that? It's not there. So this is the problem we are having. And a nation where the head is living in opulence, why those of us who voted for them are living in squalor and debilitating poverty, asphyxiating one that has held us by his jugular vein, nearing asphyxiation. We are dying. And that is why you see Nnamdi Azikiwe long time ago, when you look at Nigeria, let me tell you why. It's a country, it's so rich, but it's being worried by kwashoko. Nigeria and Nigerians are living, on spindle legs or standing on spindle legs with distended tummy. That is the signs and symptoms of kwashoko. But whereas, look at them, look at the few, the microscopic few, the plutocrats, in government. They live in opulence. Their kids and nobody. They are not up to 10 million. So what are we talking about?
All right, so Prince Francis, let me come to you very quickly. Is it fair that this is happening and this addition in a budget is happening at a time when Nigerians, just like he mentioned, are dying, are living in abject poverty. And by the way, someone like Fayemi has come to, former Ekiti State Governor, has apologized to Nigerians that APC hasn't done enough, even though Buhari said that the country was better, with them. The country was better when he was in government. But with what's the antecedents of the APC generally, based on these apologies and Buhari's bragging rights, as it were, is it fair that the administration continues to, APC generally continues to toe towards the line of making it look like they are paying little or less attention to the plight of the citizens?
Do you know why I'm laughing?
No, sir.
I'm laughing because Barrister keeps carrying this useless book and showcasing this nonsense book.
You're speaking about the constitution of our country,
Which
sir.
constitution? Which constitution? Did I mention constitution? You are the one calling constitution. This book should be thrown into the dustbin. Honestly,
The only thing we put in the dustbin is a confab 2014.
honestly, each time anybody,
You remember, sir.
each time anybody
Okay, sir.
carries this book and tries to use it to justify Nigeria, you just make a mess of this country. This obnoxious document called the 1999 Constitution is only relevant when those in power want to do evil, to steal, to reduce the people to paupers. That is when this book is useful. Other than that, like the areas the barrister has pointed out, nobody's talking about it.
So why is the National Assembly quiet?
Wait,
I thought they were supposed to be the
let me
ones
finish.
to cross-check what the executive is doing with this.
You don't have a National Assembly. Sorry to say that.
That's
sorry.
in a normal democracy.
Yes.
Yes.
You do not have. Sorry, barrister.
I saw a page, just a point of, I'm sorry, sir, you continue. I saw the particular section that talks about remuneration of the president. It's prescribed by the Revenue Mobilization Fiscal Whatever Allocation Committee. And what did he give to President A in Aso Rock as his monthly salary, then yearly salary? Is it up to, it's not up to 4 million naira per month. So if the National Assembly will now allow a president to not earn more than that as prescribed by this particular commission, is an aberration, is unconstitutional. That is what this section is talking about. He's saying that you nationals, you can make your law, but you can fix the salary, but it should not be more than.
And he also mentioned not just salaries,
Yes,
but also
emolument, allowances.
Because most times salaries may be small, but the allowances will be
Allowances.
the wahala.
That's
Allowances
You people seem to
must
be
not
very-
be must not be more than prescribed. Allowances for the president, that you are buying Escalade, or whatever they call it, Maybach, chopper, and a yacht. Can the revenue mobilization, give that kind of allowance to the president? It's not there. So it's antithetical, obtuse to this particular. Forget about that the book is, as people have said, that the constitution is nowhere, but this is our guiding light. Is for now the front at a we go. That is the ground norm on which the governance of our country rests. No matter how dismembered as it is better to have a checkered one than not having at all. That is just the whole thing. Look at it; it's very clear.
Barrister,
You can continue.
You
I'm so
and-
sorry for the interjection.
no, go ahead. You and Precious are just funny people. Honestly,
We're now comedians.
honestly, because you're asking questions that you already know the answer. You have a country where your National Assembly has become a branch of the executive. You have your judiciary has become a branch of the executive. And then you are talking about a miniature group, a miniature organization called Revenue Mobilization. And you're expecting them to muzzle up, to defend, to tell the government what to do. Are we serious? Are we serious as a people? We're not serious. Because as far as I'm concerned, if the National Assembly that is empowered by this your document to checkmate the executive is not doing it, Is it revenue mobilization that the president can wake up from, deep sleep and tell the chairman to go and rest somewhere? We are jumping the gun. The gun is not this book. I keep saying it. The gun is the fact that Nigeria has no institutions that are working. Now, coming back to that budget, I need to say something about it. Everybody's, the budget is being increased. We forget that even the original figure that was given to Nigerians by Mr. President was in deficit. So now that you're adding more to it, what it simply means is that the government will borrow more and service more debt. It is not, there are no two ways about it. It's an avenue for government to borrow more. And those borrowed money, where do they go to? Who is giving account for them? That is one. This budget increase right now is going to lead us to hyperinflation.
But customs and other and FIRS are making more money.
I'm coming. It's going to take us to hyperinflation. It's going to bring down our currency.
Why?
Why?
Okay.
Because right now your currency has no place in Africa to start with. Few years back, Nigerians go to Cotonou to change naira, and you're changing naira in Cotonou like you're changing dollars in Nigeria. Today, if you go to Cotonou with naira, you're in trouble because the money has lost value. Finally, don't forget that we have what we call lack of discipline in terms of fiscal policies. We have total, there is no discipline in government expenditure. Nigeria is a country that, as we sit here from different states, can you tell me how much your governor earns? If you tell me how much your governor earns, then I know that we're getting to that point where we're asking them to be accountable.
But is it not constitutional that we know how much all our elected officials earn, the Barrister Sim?
We know how much they earn.
We're supposed
to go into,
but they don't make it public. You remember that the National Assembly refused to. We'll be having confusing figures from the National Assembly as to how much exactly they earn.
A senator earn, a reps member, the president, and your governor earn. The official figure, according to the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, or whatever they call it, is well spelled out in their website. They will tell you this how much the president is earning by month. This is basic. It's stated there. But they don't follow it. They don't follow that template. So what they do is that they just allocate whatever they like to themselves. Because you have the honey pot in front of you. You have the tail in front of you. So it is not hidden.
So are you saying that
we know how much the governor earns in a month?
How much does the governor earn?
It's up to 1.something million.
But the House of Representatives say his total take home is like 21 million.
That's
Senator.
They are not embedded there.
Oh.
So if you go to the website of the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, you see whatever each civil. That is why you see, for now, if you are a civil servant, I know how much you earn.
Absolutely.
At the federal level.
Depends on the level I am. Yes.
Your basic is this. When you add housing, etc.,
it will be this.
Becomes whatever. It is the commission that stipulates and say, Mr. President, this how much you are going to be getting. They increase their salaries officially. From 3 million, it can be 5 million. You understand? But I am telling you that no Nigerian president can tell me that it's based on that particular template
that his
salary is up to 80 million naira in a year.
Hey, well, let's quickly get to the police force because our time is already fast spent. Now, we hear that a mutiny may be brewing within the Nigerian police force, according to this exclusive by Sahara reporters, as over 200 senior officers are refusing to retire despite being found to have falsified their birth records. Now, it was learned that some of these officers have been serving up to 44 years and that the development has led to tensions between the Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetekun and the Deputy Inspector General of Police Deputy Inspector General of the Federal Investigation Department, Dasuki Galadanchi. Galadanchi, whose tenure has also been extended, is seeking a 2-year extension, citing a precedent set by the current Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetekun, who was granted an extension despite being due for retirement last year. Remember that recently the PSC, Police Service Commission, had ordered every police official who has served up to 35 years in service and 60 years of age to retire. But Egbeteku told them that, hold on first, don't retire. So it's like a clash of who do we believe and who do we not believe. Barrister of the law, sir, I thought to call you. What is the right place of the law in this?
You know, we discussed this the last time.
Yes, we did. And now it's playing out again. It was within this week, exactly.
Section 18.8 of the Police Act,
absolutely.
7.6, you know, that was amended.
Yes.
That now gave the, what's it called, the IG of police, you know, instead of 60 to do 65.
But the Constitution on its own, does the Constitution on its own speak to the extension or speak to the tenure of the IGP?
No, you see, the Constitution gives powers
to
the Nigeria Police, Act, that is the National Assembly, to now enact a law or an act, which is called the Nigeria Police Act, that guide all these things about retirement. It is
just like we have the CBN Act and other acts.
So it tells you that you cannot spend more than 4 years here. As the case,
so that means the Constitution itself does not specify longevity.
It gives the powers to them.
But on its own, the Constitution does not specify that.
It gives the powers to the House of, National Assembly to now make laws for the various, bodies. Like the military, they have their own act.
Absolutely.
That says 60 to 30, whatever, 35 to whatever, as the case may be. You understand the point. So under the Police Act, now you have such. And that is where that Section 18 was now amended. Instead of reading 60, it's now 65 or 35 to 40, as the case may be. You understand?
But this particular inspector now, the Inspector General for the investigative, whatever, they said he's served for about 44 years. And he's saying that he's seeking for more extension too, because Oga IGP, they extend your own. What is good for the goose should be good for the gander too. If this report is anything to go by, really.
We discussed this the last time.
Yes, you did.
When I said this is not a law, but a prescription.
Yes, and you said it's a bad law.
It's a bad law. And a prescriptive law is a law that anybody can take advantage of. You can even go to where? You can even go to court and challenge it. And say, no, why will IG have this? Me, I will remain here. Court, make sure this thing, there should be equity. You cite whatever. A good example was, there was a particular funny thing you saw, it was viral, where a lawyer, a colleague of ours, had to dress to the Supreme Court.
Yes. I don't know if you know. Yes, he was. Yeah, what's that his name again? I think it's from your part of town too. He's your brother,
our learned senior brother.
Yes.
He had to go to the
to show that I'm dressing like my traditional.
The reason was because there was a prescriptive law
that people should wear hijab.
Wear whatever. That law was so if you have a prescriptive law of that nature, you understand. Then I can say because the IG did it.
So I can dress like Amadioha and go to wherever I'm going.
I can now sit and say, why will the IG his own be extended?
So that was what he was trying to do at that time.
So why will you extend IG and me that is next to IG? You are telling me that I should retire or whatever. I will not go. That is what is happening here. And don't be surprised. You now find out that the lawyers can go to court and challenge and say he cannot retire.
That is our court in Nigeria.
Yes, our court in Nigeria say he cannot retire. He takes a receiving order, to say IG or Police Service Commission or Nigeria Police Council cannot retire him until the matter is. You understand the point?
Yes, sir.
Because it's a prescriptive law. So for me, it's a bad law. So it has a tsunamic effect. A law that has a tsunamic effect. That is what that law is. When you now say the man can do this, but those under them cannot. I mean, it's even in our various houses. If you see that the owner of the house, you are the one cooking, but they bring the whole food to the table of the man, you'll be asking a question. One of us went join her and cook this food.
So this Galadanchi man now, according to this report by by Sahara reporters, is saying that if he must retire, Egbeteku must also retire.
That is it. Because the law is
according to information.
Prescriptive laws are repugnant to equity,
fairness and justice.
Fairness and justice. Any law that is repugnant, you understand? Any law that is repugnant to these three indices, first of all, equity, fairness, and justice, people will rebel against it, and that is why you see that even Aristotle say a bad law must be shut down by the judicature. You understand? So Lord Denin even made it clear. He said a bad law must be shut down by the judicature. Edmund Burke even said that a prescriptive law or a bad law is worse than a tyranny. You understand? That you have a bad law. So this particular law you have that is a prescriptive one that is dangerous. So I can lash in on it. It's a rolling, this is gathering storm. And they might use that to now say, okay, we disturb the establishment. You can't do that. It's not equitable.
All right, so let's go to another conversation very quickly, and I'll take you on this, Mr. Ikenobi. There's been a report that about 136 villages, communities in Plateau State, in 5 local government areas of Plateau State, have been taken over by gunmen, that is bandits. And the Emir of Daura is saying that the reason why there is bandits is because of poverty, and we have not insecurity is because of poor upbringing, the way people were brought up. Do you subscribe to that?
Well, that may be one, but the major one is the budget. For instance, let's even go back there for a bit. So why do you have a country, and why do you have people that populate that country? You have all of these things so that when you make your budgetary proposals and, you know, all of that, you capture people, their needs, their problems, and, you know how to take care of them. Even in numbers.
Hey, but Insecurity has always topped our budget for the past 10, 15 years.
I know, but he talked about, corruption. He talked about the human angle to diverting this whole good intent. Because, I think we run 2 type of system. So you talk about the theory, you talk about the practice. In practice, we are very poor. In fact, practice is almost non-existent. Good intended practice. But in theory, they can afford to reel out any information that you would want to hear, and even want to equate it with best global practices. You hear that line of English, right?
Yes.
Anything they are doing, they will tell you they are trying to measure up with the rest of the world. That's how things are done there. But when it comes to reality of what that thing is meant to achieve, you won't find anything. So banditry, as the case may be, even though, in any human society, you wouldn't really say that everybody is good and good in themselves. There are a few people who may want to do something that contravenes the law. Of course, the law would have to take care of them. But where you have a large chunk of the youth, who are into bad behavior, so you should be able to now look at practically what the problem is. The Nigerian government at any level, from federal to state, local government, anyhow you can look at them, nobody is interested in finding out the problem or the problems of the people of anywhere in Nigeria. So,
they're not concerned about the welfare of the people.
They tend to gloss over, talk about anything and everything. Everybody is an information person in Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
But the problems that is the elephant in the room, nobody wants to talk about it. So poor budgetary system, it contributes to where you have, because the youths have very fiery blood, right? They are very, if you don't harness the power of the youths, it may be channeled into something that is wrong. So you can imagine where you do a budget. For instance, say my kids in the UK, right? They were receiving like £190 in 2 weeks, paid by the government. In a month, they were collecting £380,
and that may not
from the same budget in the UK. So you can imagine if you have children in Nigeria that the budget captures, and then their welfare are being taken care of in the same budget, where they can buy the basic needs, take care of themselves. Like Karl Marx said, there are 3 things that everybody in this life needs. You compulsorily need shelter, food, and you know what I'm saying. So,
and that's why no matter how poor you are, if you're a citizen of any other country, you developed countries, you know that food is certain.
Absolutely.
No matter
so
what.
Somebody can go and steal. Ask him why. He tells you, look, I haven't eaten for the past 3 days. And nobody talks about that. So these are the problems. What the man said, as much as that is part of the problem, but that's not the main problem. They are jumping the gun, and it's not nice. This is not how a country should be ruled.
Prince Francis Chilaka, recently you told us about some someone you met who was kidnapped around Shagamu Bush forest in, Shagamu, just in southwest here. And you did mention something about the age bracket of the kidnappers. Something about them being
17, 18, 19, 20, 22. Young men. Young boys.
What is the implication of this?
Okay, I'll tell you. He said bad upbringing. And it's very laughable.
Indeed.
You know why I say it's laughable?
No, sir.
Him that is talking, what has he done as a parent, as a community leader, to create employment for these young youths? What are the northern leaders, governors, elders, senators, what are they doing to educate the youths in the north? What are they doing? With all the money they take from government, with all the corruption going on, yet they are not giving quality education to their youths. What are they expecting? So if he's talking about bad upbringing, what he's actually saying is that all the leaders in the north do not have upbringing, because you don't give what you don't have.
Hey.
And that's the truth. I keep saying here that Governor Zulum of Borno State, I think was it last year or 2 years back, he said something. He said that we are playing, that this banditry is going to take a new dimension. And at that dimension, it will take, if care is not taken, swallow everyone. And what did he say? He said that the youths that have not been educated, that are not gainfully employed, are now seeing banditry, terrorism, kidnapping as a way of life. And they're beginning to embrace it. And that something needs to be done, and done urgently. It's not just only in the north. This thing is spreading like wildfire. I hear there's this news going on today that one general, a retired general who one time
kidnapped.
DG of NYSC,
Okay, yeah.
has been
Yes, was
Kidnapped,
kidnapped.
yes.
Yes, was kidnapped.
So, can you imagine a country where a retired general is being kidnapped? Don't forget that every retired general in Nigeria has an orderly. They have security. So if they can come and kidnap a former general, that is just one. We've seen where a former general was killed.
We also learned that the man asked his orderlies to go back to the barracks, that he didn't need them.
It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying.
Yes, but the point is that if a retired general can be kidnapped from his home, precious,
Sir?
what is our fate? Where lies our fate?
The Lord is our protector.
Please don't even go there,
Sorry, sir.
because this is why Nigeria is not moving forward. God has given man wisdom, knowledge, understanding. What God has given you all that you need to be a better person, and you are still calling on God. What else do you want God to do?
Okay. Just a second, before we go, we need to jump in on our calls because Nigerians are already coming for me. The education system thingy that trended this morning, changing it from 6334 to 124.
12-4, yeah.
Half a dozen and
Exactly.
and yeah. So people were a bit jittery and all that. But what should we have been focusing on more in our education system?
Okay, so this is for me where we've always gotten it wrong. The type of educational system we had before, where technical schools and vocations were,
They're saying that they'll bring that
place.
back again. Yes.
If that is not the focus, okay, in trying to change this proposal of saying, okay, so the whole idea of not doing the 6334 system the whole idea of changing it to 12 4
4.
system is that the break in doing junior WAEC, okay, that exam,
Okay.
it's like that gap. You
Okay.
don't want people to.
So it's not needed.
You want them
So-
to do
so it
12
makes
years straight.
straight, and it must be compulsory.
That for me doesn't make any sense. If you want to nuance the policy, you could have, if the man wanted to propose anything, all right, like most of the countries that have succeeded, from Germany to even our West African bloc here, like Ghana, all right, their system is you get to say JS3 and then you do exam, right? After the exams, those that naturally would get from 70 to 100, they push them to go
To SS1 and
further.
continue.
The ones that would get from 70 down will have to go compulsorily to technical schools
So how
to
about
be able to educate them, so that if you're learning carpentry, if you're learning anything in that space, you would be educated whilst you're learning it practically.
So I am very
This is
worried.
how countries work.
I'm very worried about Prince Chilaka and Barrister Sim. I'm very worried about the quality of our curriculum itself. That is the content of what we teach
Absolutely.
our children. I'm more worried about that because recently I met a young girl who is just 16 years old, and she's in high school equivalent of SSS2 in Nigeria. That's what she is. She schools in Houston, Texas. She came to Nigeria for her project, and guess what? She has this project. They have project specialties, and what her project was working on was to look at developing technology that would help autistic children in communication.
You won't find that here.
When I communicated with this child, I was telling myself, I said, come, it's just in a secondary school you did. I've been another thing. So they are already developing technologies.
Absolutely.
And you know what she did? She came to Nigeria to learn, as in to educate schools and educate trainers and people who interact with autistic children on how to use her technology.
Do you know that that 6
For communication. Hey.
education order system, there's a reason for it. That when a child goes from that primary school to whatever, they bring secondary school into 3 parts again.
Yes,
If he's
into
not
2
good in
parts.
academics or whatever, he goes into carpentry or some other.
Yes.
That was the original structure. But we are not implementing it. We'll just go outside. Nigeria is a country that you just go and borrow things from outside. You borrow clothes from outside. Some don't even fit you. Some of them, you wear them upside down. You understand the point now? That is the problem. We borrow this thing from the British system. It's not working here. You understand? Not because the system is not good. The system is very perfect. But it is the implementation and execution that has become the problem. Let me tell you, in those days, some of our parents, they read what they call Standard 6. Is it not so? They call it Standard 6.
Yes.
They can write letters. Even the Queen of England will say, wow, you mean this was written by a grandmother from Africa? You understand the point now? Because they were well trained. We didn't even know the kind of system they operated, but it just says Standard 6. Most of the politicians we have, they became prominent by virtue of the fact that they acquired Standard 6. Our parents, our grandparents, go and look at their certificates. They speak Queen's English. Elocution is very perfect. Written command.
So what is happening now?
The problem is, you see, the executors, those who execute. That is where educational system in Nigeria has, been run aground. It's been run aground. Corruption has hindered the progress. It has become a lame child. This child is just bedridden. He cannot move. That is what is happening here. 2 is that, what are the quality of teachers? Some of the teachers in those days, they have what they call grade 2 or technical TTC 2. They were very efficient. They will teach us and we will understand what we are talking. But you see one school will say, we have graduate from one private university, he had first class. He cannot even construct sentence, he can't even do it. And they come and be impacting, that kind of whatever on the kids. They will never.
So why did we get it wrong that it becomes
Because
become
we
this
neglect,
bad?
just like the way we neglected Nigeria Airways.
No, but it's intentional.
The way they neglected the refineries.
It's
A
intentional.
country that has about 5 or many refineries that cannot build. Okay, repair, you can repair. You understand? How will you repair education? The Lagos State University Hospital, the one they call is it a UPTH, UPTH?
In Port Harcourt, yes.
In Port Harcourt and whatever. They were built in the 70s. Tell me anyone that has been built that has such facility and design by government these days. So we neglected all these things. So what do you expect in the educational sector, where your minister for education will say he read Arabic and he's coming to teach you English and he would take off history?
So are you saying that democracy ruined the education system?
It is not democracy. It is not democracy. It is the people who want to say they operate democracy, the plutocrats, who want to intentionally bring down the public educational system.
For what purpose?
For their own personal aggrandizement. I want to tell you something.
Because
let me tell you.
If you kill the public, then you make those of them. Can't you see that? Those schools, they own private schools.
Precious. Try and go to one of these where they're interviewing people in big parastatals in Nigeria today. You from public school, you never get any space. You will hear it's from Queen's University, sponsored by one senator, one whatever the case may be. Foreign certificates flooding the whole place. Why? It's for the big people. My child went to Oxford University, so he has to get a job. Me that went to University of Ibadan, I had first class. Then what happens to me? They will never consider me. So the intention on purpose brought down public schools so that their children alone and themselves will be the ones, making this again.
All right, Prince Chilaka, if you can, apologies, time is as fast spent. If you would like to chime in less than...
Chime in what?
Would you want to chime in on the conversation?
Of our educational
it's okay,
system?
sir. Let's open phone lines.
The evil that the political class has foisted on the people.
All right, let's open our phone lines.
No, hold on.
Okay, sir.
Hold on. Check through. I keep saying it. I keep drawing the attention of Nigerians to the leaders that have passed on. And when I talk of leaders, I talk of men with honor and proven integrity. People like the late Sam Mbakwe. People like the late Jack Ondi. These are people who created affordable education for Nigerians.
You didn't mention Awolowo.
These are people that created affordable education for Nigerians. All the governors you have today, precious. Starting from Fubara to Wike that left.
Wait. Why do you mention my state?
To Sani. Which of them is investing in education? Why are they finding it difficult to revive public schools? And then what you have as secondary schools are glorified primary schools.
Okay.
And that is very, very sad and very painful. It's sad that the Nigerian people are keeping quiet. Because what is playing out is that when, like you said, when your children will finish schooling, they will still bring their own children they have sent abroad to come and rule over them. It is already happening. And we're getting to that point in this country where there's going to be a problem. See, these children we are refusing to train. These children we are refusing to educate. They will cause chaos in this country. And I hope that when that chaos starts, that people will be ready for it.
God forbid. 0700 903 903 903. That's the phone number to call. WhatsApp is 0817 175 6338. And the alternative line to call is 0803 692 9933. Sincere apologies. I've taken a lot of time educating you guys. Hello, good evening and welcome.
Precious.
Sir?
Good evening. How are you?
Jova, how are you? Why are you chopping and calling me?
Precious, I'm not been happy.
What happened?
You have not been picking my calls. But
sorry, you're talking. No waste your time complaining. No.
What I'm happy about today is that Ms. Chilaka and Mr. Meko will be my man. And Barrister Sim, I want to get his name correct. Am I right?
Asim.
Yes, you are correct,
Asim.
sir. You are correct.
Yes.
Before you call
I
us,
greet all of you respectfully. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, bro.
Sir, my brother.
Precious.
Sir,
Barrister Sim took his time to analyze the budget and
he carry and come on. Go YouTube, go see him. He dey show. He dey raise like Bible. So saith the Lord. Now so he carry and dey show us.
education was completely absent in the budget from what he enumerated, right?
It wasn't absent,
More money.
but it was
Meaning that
paid
is absent
little
from-
attention to.
Now,
But
let me
there
relate
is
it to
but there is a
this,
United Nations and
12-4.
UBEC standard for education. How much you should well, let me leave
Let
that.
me relate it to this
Go
12
ahead.
for Precious.
Go ahead.
It has eliminated first living certificate.
Okay, so
That's
no
what
more
that's-
first school
yeah.
living certificate again.
That's what has happened.
So because
And
it's straight on.
They will do this because they don't have first living certificate. They don't consider it important anymore.
What do you use it for anyway,
That is what they will do. Then number 2, Precious.
sir?
You see, this Nigeria we call a country. APC has come to steal, to kill, and to destroy Nigeria. Why is it that since this year,
don't say
in
that
fact, when
now.
I opened my mouth this year and said I opened my shop, we have not rested from bad news. It keeps coming up. You think this one is over? They brought customs to frustrate businessmen in this country, frustrate hoi polloi members of the society, that they cannot even feed well. You can't bring in goods here. From there, they move to NEPA. Are you aware that NEPA thing that is going to take effect already? From there, they feel as if they don't know what they are doing. They are talking about creating states, 31 states. Is that the job? You see, this country, that's why I said APC has come to steal, to kill, and destroy Nigeria. I don't understand. We keep saying the same thing. As I could watch, I went to the YouTube to watch Prince Chilaka. When he put his hand on his head, I saw that he was tired. Very soon, Barrister Sim will become tired because he's still energetic. Mr. Kenobi is also tired. I'm tired. Good night.
Oh, well, good night. Sorry. Don't be tired. Don't be tired, though. You cannot be tired now. Hello, good evening, and welcome. Oh, did I lose you? Hello, good evening.
Hello?
No, now, don't do this. When you call, turn off the volume of your radio set. Please. All right, I have to let you go. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Sister Precious. Good evening.
You're welcome, sir.
UK Martins calling.
You're welcome, UK.
I want to say something about Nigeria. Righteousness exalts the nation, but sin is a reproach. In regard to what is going on in Nigeria today, it's quite unfortunate. Those people who call themselves the elders, people that are supposed to speak the truth to the powers are no longer speaking the truth. Ethnicity, religion, tribalism have destroyed the foundation of Nigeria. The church that ought to play a vital role speaking the truth, they are nowhere to be found. The leaders of the church, the bishop, archbishop, and general overseers, all of them, no one is speaking. I listened last 2 weeks. The Muslim community came out and condemned what President Mahmoud Tinubu wants to do. And they're listening for till today. The Christian Association of Nigeria have not come out to say anything. They are supposed to be the watchman speaking against evil. But they are living facts. The thing has so far crept to the church circle, the religious organization, that a man from Anambra State can no longer take a lead in a circle in Oshu State. The man from Sokoto can no longer be relevant in Abia State. A man from Imo State cannot be relevant in Lagos State in a religious gathering. The people that are supposed to speak the truth, all of them went underground. You can no longer hear their voice. And every Saturday and Sunday, they gather people speaking rubbish, speaking what they know nothing about. How can you expect a Nigeria to move forward? The
All right,
barristers are listening to what he said.
sir.
When you made mention of God, I asked you not to call God. God had created everything beautiful. But the wickedness of men, look at the church. Look at even your general overseer, your bishops when you watch it. How many times have they come out and condemned the evil that the president is doing? The presidency.
All right, you've had your time, sir. You've spoken for more than 2 minutes, sir. I have to let you go, sir. You've spoken for 2 minutes. I'm so sorry.
It is so disheartening.
Sorry, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well done, sir. Biggest phone lines are still open 0700 903 903 903.
So, Precious, on a more serious note,
okay, sir.
When you may try to brush it aside, you may try to say it's not necessary, but I think the religious bodies in Nigeria have not helped this country. Honestly speaking, it is so sad that the only time you see religious leaders jump out is when it comes to tithe and offering and getting from the people. But when it comes to speaking for the people, fighting for the people, you don't get to see them. I believe in liberation theology, and I believe it is high time all men of God begin to understand the meaning of liberation theology.
All right. Okay. I was going to say very quickly. I thought UNESCO, that is United States Nations standard or required budgetary provision for education, should be between 15 to 20%, and I think about 5 to 6% of the GDP, nation's GDP on education. Correct. So what's going on with and then health too?
We don't follow.
And some nations actually even exceed that budget.
But we don't do that.
So that means we pay little attention to things that are important.
See, when I was growing up as a boy in the secondary school, there was a mantra that was being used by politicians. See, housing for all by the year 2000.
At Vision 2020.
Housing,
Vision 2000.
No, I don't know. That is later day assembly. We're talking about when I was in secondary school in the 80s. They say housing for all
in the year 2000.
The year 2000. So we were looking at 2000 as maybe millennial years in heaven. You understand? But you know that 2000 came. Instead of us having more houses and more people are living in houses, many of us are now staying in the forest and on top of trees in Nigeria.
Living in squallows.
You live in a squallow. You understand the point? That is a mantra. The MPN, National Party of Nigeria, UPN, all of them use this to campaign to say housing for all. For all. They didn't say housing for Nigeria. They say housing for all. In fact, the MPN house a house and three family members in their logo. Housing for all by the year 2000. Then somebody came and said Vision 2010. From 2010 it now became 2020. 2020 is now 2030. Many of them who are seeing this vision will never get to that day. So you find out that we are working on what we call the devil's lake, what we call mirages. That is what Nigeria as a nation has come up to be. Because if you are traveling on the tarmac, you'll be seeing something like water in front of you.
Yes.
But the more
it's
you
it's
a mirage. So we have a country that is being worked and is being seen in a mirage kind of arrangement. That is why we can't meet any of our obligations, including that of the education, that of health, policing, for instance. All the indices given by the world, whatever the United Nations etc. Nigeria has not met any. As the case may be, we have not met any of those visions. Even when this man, the president, black president of America, Bill Clinton, came and established what he called African Growth and Opportunities Act, which is called the AGOA. Ghana took that and folded it under their pillowcase and they are using it till tomorrow. Zambia, Botswana, Egypt.
Botswana is doing good.
They are working with that particular, blueprint that was formulated, by the then Bill Clinton administration. Obama. Sorry, it was Obama. Because he was the first black American president. So it was Obama that brought AGOA. When he came to Africa, he said, this is a blueprint for your development. And America will support, you with this. And it has been there. Other African nations took that particular mantra. Nigeria never followed it. The question is not far-fetched. The reason is because we have had the cankerworm and caterpillars, the buccaneers, the pirates, who have come to, lobotomize our economy, who has come to dismember the psyche of the Nigerian man, who has come to palpably reduce us from human beings. Not even Homo sapiens any longer. Nigerians are no longer Homo sapiens under this particular government.
Will not be human beings again.
We're not there.
We'll not follow for human race.
Because look, let's see.
Hey.
I was walking and see, I was driving along the road today, going somewhere. I on purpose, I said, let me just watch and see at least 10 Nigerians on the road. Some of them were walking aimlessly.
Chai.
Some were talking to themselves, what they call soliloquizing. I had the boldness and effort. I asked madam, I said, Pat, I just want to call this lady. I said, come, madam, what's your problem? She looked at me and said, no money.
Hey.
I called that man. I said, okay, what is happening? He said, no food.
Hell.
So Nigerians are walking, many Nigerians are walking cops on the street. Many Nigerians are helpless.
Well, how come?
They are manacled by poverty, harangued to stupor, by a government that seemed to be alive but not alive for Nigerians.
Barrister.
It's sad.
Barrister.
At times I wonder.
No, Barrister, hold your breath. You said something that really got me, interested, in what you were saying. You said the AGOA, that Nigeria refused to participate. Yes. No, you didn't get it right. Nigeria participated, but they were embezzling.
They embezzled everything.
That was it.
So when you embezzle, you destroy your future. You understand?
There is nothing you would bring to Nigeria, especially with governance.
It will not work.
You see, free money. Free money is the problem we have. And until we cut down the size of money, let us reduce governance money to say, if you are a president, your minimum wage is 100,000, nobody will contest for presidency.
But they will never do that.
They
will not do it.
That is for National Assembly members. That is for elected officials to earn via minimum wage.
And that is why I blame Labour and the TUC. The things they should fight for, they're fighting for themselves.
Because the entire Nigerian populace would support that cause if they fight for it.
The people, do you know that hunger has become a weapon?
Sure.
Hunger has now become, a tool that they are using to divide us. For instance, what am I saying? Front of where I'm staying, in one of the conurbations in Lagos here, there's an open field, where people go around, they do crusade, etc., as the case may be. Before Christmas, a particular group, political group came, they were sharing rice. If you go near that place, it was just, the people there were more than those in Wembley Stadium in London. I now asked a question, why are they say because of 3 cups of rice that they were sharing in this small, and they were whipping them
to queue up.
And you ask the man, why are you here? Say, I've been here since morning. Because of this. So it's so debilitating. I look at, when you speak to a man that is not from Nigeria, he will tell you, what kind of a nation is this? You say, what kind of a nation is this?
Interestingly, my security man is from Nigeria.
Okay.
And when they had this coup in Nigeria, he brought his
family.
Yesterday night, I go home very late, and he said to me, it's like I need to go back to Nigeria. I'm telling you. I said, why? I said, but they just increased your salary. He said, the money that they're paying me, even though they call it minimum wage, it's not taking care of me,
my
family. So then what do I? If he's in Niger, life is now good in Niger. What is he doing in Nigeria again?
So are you saying that these Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali guys are turning their countries around?
They are revolutionizing that particular country. Nigeria has not seen a revolution. You know, not, you see, people think that revolution is just all about shouting and fighting and jumping from upstairs. No. A revolution took place in the telecommunication industry, where we were using analog, you know, whatever, but today we have our mobile phones. That's a revolution. The revolution.
You didn't have to fight for
that. We didn't need to fight. You see? So you can do a revolution to evolution. And at the same time, it's for you to do what they call great thinking. You see, countries of the world, if you look at the greatness of America today, it was through planning and people who are statesmen. In Nigeria today, we don't have statesmen, we have politicians who are worse than orangutan gang. You have politicians who are worse than orangutan. Have you seen where the orangutan are dragging? Maybe you throw about 4 balls of oranges. They can kill because they want to get. That is what the political class is doing in Nigeria today. And this is the only class, this is the only political class, apart from the Italian mafioso. Because in Italy, the mafia run the government there. In fact, the Italian mafiosos are even scared of the Nigerian political class.
There's nobody that's scared of Nigerian political class.
They can see, for power, some will koto.
What is koto?
You bow down, you roll on the floor.
Okay,
some will genuflect. Some will kill to be there. They quarrel among themselves. When they quarrel for 2 years, they come back again and hobnob. Most of them who are ruling us today, they have formed a syndicate, a deadly one. Even the Medellin cartel is studying the Nigerian political eruptions. How the politicians come together, intertwine and intertwine, drink and do whatever together. Because it is the same class of people that are ruling us today.
All right,
they only give birth to their children and grandchildren.
Let's go back to the phone lines.
Talking about it, I'm going to take us to Fayemi.
Okay. He apologized. He said they've done.
I am surprised that he's saying this now. He is one of those who worked tirelessly to foist Buhari on Nigerians. He's one of those who worked tirelessly to foist another bad governance on Nigerians.
He's speaking like this now. If you give him an appointment tomorrow, he will tell you that, oh, look, I didn't say that. The press misquoted me.
All right. Nuhu Ribadu said he didn't say anything.
I believe Nuhu Ribadu.
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. No, sorry, I kept you waiting. No. Good evening and welcome. Hello, are you there? Good evening. My WhatsApp caller, are you there? Good evening. Hello. I picked your call on WhatsApp, but you're not there. Good evening. Are you there? Hello. Hello. Good evening. Are you there? All right. Unfortunately, I can't hear you. You can hear me. You can call back. Hello. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening, Pressure.
Yes, you're welcome. Go ahead. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes. Yeah. My name is Chike. I'm calling from Apapa.
Go ahead, Chike, very quickly.
Yes. Your name is Precious, and anybody who calls you another thing is not calling you. What I mean by that is that let's start calling his name as what exactly it is. National Assembly today is not National Assembly. It is Tinubu Assembly.
Why you they do like this now? So you just leave the matter what we get from
I'm coming. I'm coming.
I have somebody else on hold on WhatsApp. Oh. Please, my WhatsApp caller, just be on hold and wait for us.
I'm coming. Let's go. Let me.
Your time is fast going. So hurry up, sir.
Judicial system in Nigeria is Tinubu judicial system.
Stop it. No, but I can't let you say this. I can't let you say this on radio.
No, wait. It is exactly Precious.
Sir?
Precious.
Sir?
Give me some seconds. Let me.
No, you can't say these things on radio, sir.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Good.
Now, Buhari is telling us that government is better than Tinubu.
Yes.
So the difference between Buhari and Tinubu is that Buhari met us when we are healthy and wealthy. Mm-hmm. But he decided to, drag us to a place where we cannot even be able to see food to eat. At the end, he dumped us in the hospital and left because we are sick. Then Tinubu come instead of him to get a doctor that will stop this illness.
He brought a herbalist.
Then he decided to start pressing a man on the sick bed, pressing the man on his neck. So where Tinubu is leading us to now is not
you
right.
had your 2 minutes. Thank you. I appreciate you. Hello, good evening. Apologies for keeping you on hold. Good evening and welcome. Hello. What's going on? I can't hear my WhatsApp callers. Hello, good evening. Are you there? Hello, good evening. Can you hear me on WhatsApp? Can you say something? I can't hear you. Hello. Oh dear, unfortunately I can't hear you. Apologies. I don't understand what's going on. Why can hello, good evening. No, now if you call me, please turn off, quench it totally the volume of your radio set. We can't have this all back. It makes the conversation very tacky. Please, we can't do this. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, madam.
Yes, welcome, sir.
My name is Kola calling from.
Caller calling from where?
I want to ask Mark.
Go ahead, sir.
Let's say the truth. You can't compare Nigeria with America. America, they have one language. They speak one language. London, they speak one language. Great Britain. But in Nigeria, we have about 450 languages. Tribalism is our main problem here. Because everybody who are not Yorubas are antagonized Tinubu. Now, if Atiku read that place, other tribes will antagonize him. Now they are saying that National Assembly, Common National Assembly, Tinubu Assembly. What nonsense is that? Let's say the truth.
Okay, I want to get your facts. I'm glad. What is your name again, sir? Please. No. Before you ask, let me take you on what you said before, so I don't forget.
I want to ask a question. The question is, what is the way forward now?
Okay. But me, I'm asking you a question too. Let me ask you a question. Is Nigeria the only country that has different ethnicity or ethnic groups and that they speak different languages and that is in this situation? Is Nigeria the only country? No, answer me. Yes or no? And are you also aware? Are you aware that English language is not the only language in America? Are you aware of that?
In Ghana, they have about 20 different languages.
It's good you're mentioning it now. So what I'm trying to say is that. Hello, sir.
In Ghana, they are united.
You're answering the question at the same time. The point is that is it because now is there any single politician, any one of them that has tried to contest for election that is unaware about this division and these differences that we have? Is there any one of them, knowing that we have these differences? What did the politician come with as a way to move us forward? That's the question I'm asking you.
Politics is money politics.
Is what? Money politics. But you're answering the question, so I'll have to let you go because you're asking question and you're answering it by yourself. You had your 2 minutes. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. You see, I like the fact that he asked the question and he answered it somehow, and we're good. Phone lines are open, but let me see if I can take WhatsApp messages. My message box is hot and kicking. All right.
Precious, before you take the first message.
No, my messages are. Our time is already done.
The most difficult thing for any Nigerian today is to defend the actions of this government. In the process of trying to defend this government, you rubbish them the more.
All right. So this says, can some the little arithmetic and tell me what amount APC has decided there is institution? I don't get you. Owaje Shasha, I don't get your message. Unfortunately, I can't pay attention. Okay. Right. Good evening, Precious. Thanks for on the education. My son attended Owu Tech. Is now over 1 year. He has not got his IT for industrial attachment. Please, can you call the school? We have over hundreds of sons are outside doing nothing. Please help us. Industrial attachment is another problem altogether. I don't even want to go to that. They are somewhere around that area. Kasarachi says, Prince Chilak and Barrister Adams, may God bless all of you and Prince Mr. Kenobi and preserve you to eat the fruit of this country when the tides shall turn for good. I remember late Mr. Sankore. He keeps analyzing the consequences of children dropping out of school, unemployment, especially for youth. You said a lot. I appreciate you. And this says, VOP, please repeat your alternative phone line. I mentioned it 0803-692-9933. But you reached me here all the same. Join us with, he said what? Join us, come with us. We are on our way. Education for all by the year 2000. He was telling you the mantra at that time.
Yes,
yes.
MPN.
Okay, Mayor from First Tax says, good evening, gentlemen in the studio. Please, can Barrister Asim in the studio tell me if it's possible for most of us helpless and defeated Nigerians to approach ICJ and demand for an injunction stopping Bola Tinubu and his team from continuous borrowing from the World Bank, other financial institutions, and all that? Enough is enough. Secondly, secondly, the call for creation of 31 states is nothing from people in the National Assembly who are bereft of ideas. Lastly, there is no more need for present administration to bother us with budget brouhaha because the whole thing has become a scam. That's what you said. And this says, well, I just want to say Happy New Year to you, Princess Precious Chilaka and Barrister Sim. For me, Prince Akwachi, was that you? Sorry, I got nothing to say about Nigeria. Prince Akwachi, has been a long time. How are you doing? We missed you. I'm just saving money. Very soon, I go leave Nigeria for now. For you people, who you go leave her for? Who? Paolo brought free and quality education in the East. They asked him why. Paolo said that people are well governed when they are well educated, are well governed when they are well educated. APC government has succeeded in killing education in Nigeria. It's not only APC, started from PDP. Please don't play. Comrade Collins sent in that message. Aberdeen says Nigerian politicians should remember one day they will retire from active politics position and start living a private life. One day another person will be sitting on the seat and be in their position. In summary, take life easy and do good. That's what he's trying to say. Barrister Adams and Prince Chilaka and Mr. Kenobi, you say your name is Samuel Ofoboisi Oji from Ajigunle. The Nigerian problem is bad leadership. All the policy somersault by the incompetent individuals who forcefully make their way into office. You said a lot of things. That's your opinion. Romeo from Oshodi says, about the education of Nigeria, the barrister has said some points, but for me, one of the reasons education has become seem to be the way it is because education has no payout in Nigeria. Where you see those 10 years ahead pushing barrow or without seeing the benefit of education, that will be our motivation. You say, what will not be our motivation to study if you've seen people that got an education and they can't achieve anything? Adam Soluwatoyin from Ejigbo says, creation of additional state at this point in time is misplacement of priority. The existing one is being taken care of by bandits. Stop it now. Okay, say 2/3 of 36 is someone was solving the math. So he said 2/3 of 36 is 24.
Yes.
People of knowing math. Yomi from Omole says, what exactly does the Igbo want? He said, okay. You're fighting and killing your people on a daily basis because you want Biafra, yet you want the country you want to live to give you your more states. Do you want Biafra or new states? It seems Igbos are confused. That's what
I
he
need
said.
to answer that guy.
Why, sir?
I need to answer him.
Okay,
I think he doesn't even understand what we're talking about. When you talk about Biafra, Biafra is an ideology, and people need to understand it. The reason why you have people agitating for Biafra is because of the injustice being meted out to the Igbos. And I keep saying this injustice is not just being meted out at the federal level. The state governors in the southeast are also meting out injustice on their people. The day they wake up from slumber to understand that for Igbos to move forward, the leaders must lead well. this agitation will never stop.
All right, this message says, Precious, John from Ejaniki, you say you're beginning to lose interest because I don't read your message. I'm sorry. See, messages that I read, my mouth to pay me, they're like a million. Good evening, VOP. Anioma State wants to join the Southeast to complete the 6 states, and they are afraid that Igbo are coming together since after the war. They now bring 30 states as a distraction to stop that. That's what he said. And a state creation, Tinubu just wants to make a history and write his name in the Genesis Book of Records as the first civilian president to create different states. The essence of electing new government is to correct the ills of the previous administration. But in Nigeria, the reverse is always the case. Previous government is always better than the current one. But God forbid, that looks like a curse, really. Comrade Abraham said in that message. VOP family, creating more states is creating more insecurity, bandit, terrorism. God forbid. Stop it now. You guys just stop this. All right, let me have you guys dropping your thoughts and your final thoughts very quickly. Mr. Kenobi, would you like to take the lead?
Well, every day we come here, we try to speaking truth to power, trying to inform people on the things that they need to do. Government is a very big business, and we should just advise the followers to understand where their problem is coming from, and they need to also come out and participate and then make things right.
Thank you. Prince Chilakasa?
Well, for me, it's unfortunate where we are today, but we can do things better. We can get things right. And I'm appealing to Nigerians. I know the apathy in terms of election and all of that, but I'm appealing to Nigerians. When the window opens for people to pick up their voters card, please go out there, hold your voters card. It is that voters card that we will use to change this Nigeria that we want to change.
Thank you. And Bryce Asim, sir, your parting shots?
My parting shot is I'll take a quote from late Martin Luther King Jr. Nigeria at this point in time, like he said, that need leaders who are not in love with money, but in love with justice. Leaders who are not in love with publicity, but in love with humanity. If we have leaders with these characteristics, Nigeria will move from where we are right now to a great nation that the world will recognize.
Thank you. Thank you, Lagos. Thank you so much for the show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Nigeria, for tuning in across the world. They've said it all, and I have nothing else to say. But we must do what we have to do to take our country back. And I do believe that that's great Nigeria that we seek will surely come through someday. My name is Precious Inyi. I love you guys. I appreciate you for being a part of the show. I'll see you again on Monday, God willing. Keep your head up your shoulder and ensure you protect your mental health. You see, as I shout them, because you cannot come and kill yourself and go mad. I love you guys. Good night.